Hi folks, you're all very welcome back to 3 Minute Tales. This is the She-Bean and I'm your host Shanna Key. Now when you hear the word karma, you automatically think of a bad person getting their comeuppance, and good people are quite often overlooked. But thankfully in this story, it's a very heartwarming tale about a young lady who overcomes so many obstacles in life and she eventually gets her just rewards. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to leave a comment, you can do so in the comment box down below. And as I said, hit that subscribe button, because the more subscribers we have, the more people get to listen to our stories. So until the next time, thanks so much. I'm Shanna Key.
Born in 1951, Alice Chubb was the eldest of 7 children who were brought up on a small farm in Indiana in the United States. When she was 11 years old, her father abandoned the family, leaving his alcoholic wife Meredith to raise the children alone. Meredith was a short-tempered and cruel woman who heaped all of the responsibility onto the young shoulders of her daughter Alice. Alice was not the prettiest of children and suffered years of verbal, emotional and physical abuse at the hands of her mother. She would openly mock Alice, calling her a rat-faced little witch, and even encouraged some of her other children to be cruel to her. Even though Alice was an extremely bright and popular girl at school, she had very little self-confidence. She was the real-life Cinderella of the family, washing, cooking and looking after her younger siblings, while her mother lounged about in a drunken stupor. When Alice did have any spare free time, she would spend the time reading books, sometimes to Raymond, the partially sighted son of their neighbours, in the loft of the farm's large outbuilding. Her younger siblings, who relied on her so much, resented her alone time and would inform their mother that Alice was reading again. By the time she was 18, life had become almost unbearable for her. The constant demands and derision from her mother was incessant. However, now in her final year of high school and with her upcoming prom approaching, Alice was determined to do well in her exams, so she could pursue her dream of becoming a teacher. Although Alice was well liked at school, her popularity on the romantic front wasn't exactly glittering. So when Raymond suggested that they attend the prom together, she was delighted. Raymond wasn't concerned about Alice's appearance or what his parents, who ran a very successful business in the nearby town of Lafayette, thought about it all. They were quite disapproving of their son going to the prom with Alice. Even though that they acknowledged that she was a nice girl, they felt that she was somewhat beneath them in a social standing and demanded that Raymond stop seeing Alice immediately. Unknown to Alice, Raymond had secretly liked her since their early teens. She had always shown him the kindness that he didn't receive at home. His prosperous parents were too preoccupied with their business and their other children to give the almost blind Raymond the support that he needed. When Raymond insisted that he would attend the prom with Alice, his father gave him an ultimatum. He either stopped seeing Alice or he would be ostracised from the family. At 18 years old and with very little money in the bank to support himself, the choice was not an easy one. However, upon meeting Alice again, he proposed to her. Alice was taken aback. She was unaware of how deeply Raymond had felt about her. She had always seen their relationship as a platonic one, never believing that anyone would ever want her in a romantic way. Beginning to sob, she accepted. 2 days later, the two idealistic teenagers eloped together, making their way to Illinois. Back in Indiana, Alice's mother Meredith was incensed. How dare her selfish witch of a daughter abandon them, after all she had done for her? Raymond's parents were devastated too, when the word got around that their son had run away with the daughter of the local drunk. As the months rolled by, Alice undertook various menial jobs to help pay for the rent of their tiny apartment in the town of Arlington Heights. Raymond secured a job at a telephone exchange and worked long hours to provide for himself and his wife. At the tender age of 20, they were married in the fall of 1971. Within a year, Alice had given birth to a baby daughter, Shirley, and Raymond had been promoted to a loftier position within the telephone exchange. They bought a small house close by with a garden complete with white picket fence, and they couldn't be happier. However, in September 1978, Raymond began to complain of extremely bad headaches. Urged to see a doctor by Alice, Raymond met with his local GP, who in turn referred him to a hospital in Chicago for tests. Within 2 weeks, the young couple were given the devastating news that Raymond was terminally ill with an inoperable brain tumour. The young couple were left devastated, and all Alice could do was to see that Raymond was comfortable for the final months of his life. Raymond passed away on Christmas Eve 1978, leaving a distraught wife and a young 6-year-old daughter behind. Trying to juggle work with the care of a young daughter, Alice began to struggle financially and began to fall behind with her mortgage repayments. Things went from bad to worse for Alice when she was let go by her employer, and with no other option, she reluctantly contacted Raymond's family to see if they could help. Without surprise, they denied her any assistance. So she then reached out to her own family in the hope that they might be able to somehow help, but to no avail. Neither her mother nor her siblings were willing to aid her in any way. On the 9th of June 1979, Alice received an eviction notice from the bank. They were foreclosing on her mortgage and demanded that she leave the property within 14 days. Alice prayed to Raymond, begging him for help. Out of desperation, she bought a lottery ticket in the hope that by some chance she might win enough money to pay the bank the $2,700 that was owed on their mortgage. However, she had no idea that this purchase was about to change her life forever. Reading from a newspaper the next day, Alice checked her lottery numbers. Each numbers corresponded to the numbers on her lottery ticket. She checked the numbers over and over again, terrified that she was misreading them. Unbelievably, she had won the jackpot, almost $2.75 million. She was overjoyed and in total shock. She immediately contacted the bank and arranged full payment of her mortgage. Within weeks, she put her house up for sale, and along with her daughter Shirley, she moved back to Indiana, where she bought a huge house close to her old hometown. As a tribute to her late husband, she set up a charity for blind and partially sighted children, and one of the first dedicated facilities to begin training guide dogs. The family of her husband never made any contact with Alice or acknowledged their grandchild, but Alice's siblings and mother soon arrived to congratulate her. This might have been a fantastic opportunity to get her own back on them for refusing to help her and her child, but in true Alice style, she forgave them, even offering employment to 2 of her brothers to work within her guide dog facility. To this day, Alice still runs the charity along with her daughter.